Cancer, this is your weekly tarot card reading from Born Without Boundaries Tarot. It is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. There's always an extended reading that I hope you guys will join me for, and that link is right below this video in the comments and in the description box. If you want access to all of the extendeds, unlimited, then please join the Unbound membership, and you'll get access to all exclusive content and all channel perks. Remember, there's a new video that comes out for you guys every single Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you know when I upload your favorite content. And if you want to join me for a daily tarot card reading that's live and will answer your questions intuitively, then please check out my second YouTube channel called Astrology Motivation. I'll attach the link above, and hopefully you guys will join me there too. Know your worth. Guys, the astrology this week is interesting because it comes toward the end of this week. The sun leaves Cancer and goes into Leo. Of course, it's just uber confident, and expect to sort of explode, especially if you guys like me. And a lot of times Cancerians do have a lot of Leo placements. Leo would be the second house, so I think that for most Cancerians, but I don't really love sun sign astrology, to be totally honest with you. So let's just look at it as the spotlight's off, and we can feel a little bit more comfortable. And I think where most Cancerians do feel a little bit more comfortable in the backdrop until we're ready, right? So that's happening. And then next week we also have a new moon in Leo. Now that's going to really impact us because while the moon is new in Leo, Jupiter also goes into retrograde. So it is a great time for clarifying and understanding a little bit of ourselves in terms of retrospective and getting some expansion and new perspective on stuff that we let slide. Retrogrades are a great time to reconsider or go over something we missed. Jupiter has this kind of explosive energy to it, but it's not the most detail oriented. And a retrograde can give us a fresh perspective on stuff and the interest, not necessarily the patience, but the interest, can intrigue us to give us sort of the energy that we need to focus on stuff that maybe we haven't been able to go over before, or look at things from a fresh perspective. This new moon in Leo asks us to renew who we are, our sense of self, or in some ways allow ourselves to refresh ourselves and start new. So it could mark actually a really new you in some ways, whether that be a new look or a new mentality. Usually it's a sense of getting back to a sense of purpose, maybe even a new purpose or a new interest or something that inspires you. It's a tense week. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not for Cancer specifically, but you'll pick up on it. It's a week where things actually seem worse than they are. And I think that that's the point. To sort of force us to face the tension or the fear that we have towards something, especially toward change, or a dynamic change that we've already been probably battering back and forth, tossing back and forth and trying to consider. There is some clarity that's going to come tomorrow for us. So, the illumination is going to help us to really be able to maybe make a decision, but how to make it work and really being prepared for that fresh new start, that's something for the new moon to just sort of ask for that sense of renewal and a new sense of profound confidence. Now, Know Your Worth has come out, and I love this card because it's like, know your worth even though you're awkward. Know your worth even though, know your worth. Know your worth even though you're other people don't get you, or maybe you don't fit in, or people stereotypically don't think you fit in. Your heart and your body might not be aligned, in that we all judge each other by our bodies, you know? A good example is sports or athletics. Excuse me. So you're really slight, you know, don't have great coordination, tiny, but you love football. Or you're a little itty bitty and you love basketball. You have to go with what you love, not with where it's easy for you to fit in. You're a creature that's led by their passions and their hearts. It's how you get things done. That's why I mentioned Leo is Cancer's second house. You get things done through your passion. You get things done through your heart. You follow your heart, even if it's awkward and it doesn't make sense. Cancer, if you put your mind and focus to it, you will figure out how to be the only 5'2" player on the NBA. Because you are magic, and you can manifest the impossible. It only happens when your heart is there. And I think this is when there's clarity, especially around this new moon, for when you can start listening to your heart instead of your headspace. And if you haven't realized it by now, your headspace is pretty shit. Like, Cancers don't do rational or intellectual well. Not to say that they're stupid, but they're intuitive and they're psychic. And you kind of have to use your head to help your heart strategize, not try to make sense of what it wants or what it feels. So this is a beautiful time for you to get that clarification. My mind works in service to my heart. I don't mean your feelings. I mean the vibrations, picking up on those receptions, or just this God space inside of you that is your purpose. You are supposed to get things done through what really matters to you. And this is where you put your energy and effort. It doesn't matter if it makes sense to the outside world or you look silly doing something. It really doesn't matter. What matters is you love to do it, and that's your entire focus right now. Now, we also have there is always enough, which is it's a statement that you need to hear. Because so many times you have thought to yourself, well, that person's already got it, or that person's already done it, or they're way ahead of me, or it's been done 100 times, or I've been looked over 100 times. This is a message that you need to hear, and that is there is infinite energy, there is infinite space, and there's infinite resources, and you can tap into it. There's enough for you. There's room for you too. So don't let it get in your way, this idea of, but they've gotten there first. Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter. It's not who's first or who's last. You're not racing anybody. You're not in a race. You're not in a competition. I know you feel like you are, which probably makes you feel even more awkward, but you're not. And if you stop thinking of things that way, then you won't feel at least that part of awkward or that type of awkward. Instead, what you'll start to realize is, I get there when I get there, and I get there because I love being there, and that's the only thing I need to focus on. And that really is. But there really is enough for you too. These two cards sitting together saying you are good enough for what you desire, and there is room for you too. There's also a sense of a lot of passion and a lot of feelings and emotions for awkward, cute little you. And you will have enough for what you need. So please don't be afraid to ask for it or short yourself. Don't settle. You may be tempted to settle, but I don't think so, especially with that new moon energy. I don't think you'll want to settle because you'll have a natural sense of optimism about you, about your self-worth and knowing. So you're about to receive something that's very abundant because there is always enough, and there's enough for you. So please don't put yourself into a compromised situation because you really do not have to. Embrace the in-between. And this is saying, Embrace this moment, this time that you're feeling this week of things being not balanced or needing to be economic in some ways, because that's really what flamingos do. They conserve energy by standing on one leg. This is a sense of, yes, you're kind of in a wonky transitional phase. Embrace it. And embrace it means not to accept it, but to not fear it or think too much about it. This is where your head fucks you up. Not think too much about it to say, oh, this means something. It doesn't mean shit. I tell you right now, it means it's a transitional period. It's certainly not going to last forever. Probably will only last this week. Not only will you get through this, there is exactly what you need on the other side of it. So really, it's all just about finding a way to enjoy and, I don't know, learn from this crazy transitional moment that you're in. And then we have lay a solid foundation. So there's something here about work, about what you've been working for. There's something here about your day to day. This is Virgo energy, so it could even be health. Start a healthy mindset, start a healthy routine, and getting yourself into the mindset of no fear. Imbalance is just part of life, and I'll get through it, but I'm gonna stay focused and consciously not stop walking toward my goals. I may have to walk a little slower sometimes. I may have to sit to rest sometimes, but I'm gonna keep moving toward my goals. And you definitely should, because it's saying you've already done so much work, Cancer. You haven't come this far to only come this far. So keep going. Yes, it's slowed down a little bit. That instability is more cosmic than it is you. You may even be getting something that kind of throws you off balance this week. I'm not going to lie. That's okay, especially mechanics. Because as soon as Uranus and Mercury go square, that's when shit just breaks down. Computers, anything technological. So watch yourselves and know that's really not you. It's not you. And it may slow you down a little bit, but that's not the same as stopping. And the universe doesn't care how fast you move. They just care that you keep going forward. So keep moving. If you gotta fucking not hitchhike, because that's dangerous, but if you gotta walk somewhere, maybe you can't, maybe you gotta ride a bike or something, like whatever it is, figure out a way to get around, figure out a way to keep moving forward. You can absolutely figure this out. Okay, why am I compelled? Okay. Oh, okay, listen to me. This is so crazy. But it's just acknowledge this chaos and conflict is actually giving you a leg up. So what looks like it's about to defeat you, or getting a leg up on something that would have caused a great deal of chaos or conflict, or having a leg up because in some ways you already know how to handle situations like this, like stupid situations like that. Here's a hint. Work with somebody. Work with them. Co-create. Work with them. Very necessary. Please work with them. That's what it's saying. You'll get a leg up on this craziness if you do it in conjunction with somebody else. And listen to their advice. Let yourself be heard. This is something about working together. Okay. It's almost like in some ways, if you're in a relationship or any kind of partnerships that you may have, this new conflict, this new chaos is going to help your partnership in a way that you could not have asked for, or if you tried, you would have failed. This is almost like you're in this crunch position. It's going to help out. This craziness is going to actually help out some kind of partnership or unity, like co-creation. I don't know that you're involved in. Time for a beginner mind. So this is Aquarian energy. It could even be getting you into a new group of friends, or putting you into a new group, a new group of people to hang out with, people that will help you figure shit out. Time for a beginner mind. You're ready. You need a new mindset. You need a new mindset, and you need to think about this in a different way. This is ingenuity. If you're going to need engineering somehow this week, you're going to need ingenuity this week to create something, to invent something really necessary. And don't rush. Take your time. Cancer. Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. This is something to do with maybe Cancerian energy. And then we have a new romantic cycle begins. And you are very close to achieving your goals. But what do you need to release? These are your moon cards. Ironically, it's almost like this is going to be a better time than you believe, than you think. And it's because your mind is set in a different direction, you don't get in the way of it. Happy birthday, Doug Denny. You don't get in the way of it. You're distracted by something that's causing you chaos. So you don't even get in the way of, it's like you're distracted by what you think is the problem. And then this beautiful solution comes in because you don't get in the way of it. What do you need to release? Okay, what does Cancer need to release? Too much work. Maybe you're doing too much work, or you've taken on too many responsibilities. You've taken on too many hardships. This is relinquishing hardships. It's almost like maybe your first inclination is going to be you got to work smart, not hard. If you've taken on too much, this is when it kind of this is when it crashes. The too much crashes. This is the when the too much has to be let go. Anything you've just been struggling with, I feel tension comes to such a point where this is when you let it go. You would not have let it go before, but something is just that straw that broke the camel's back, right? And enough is enough, and that's why it's like, whoosh, get it out of my way. You're finally willing to release. This is what you're willing to release. Too many burdens, too much stress, too much hardship, too many responsibilities. Temperance. You'll work it out. You'll figure it out. Temperance is also like whatever is happening to you this week, Cancer, whatever has happened to you is to put you back into balance. If you break your leg, and I'm not saying you're all going to break your leg. If you break your leg, it's the universe telling you to slow the fuck down. It's not there to curse you. It's there to force you to go the speed that you need to not miss something that's right in front of you. But what's right in front of them? It's also saying that this stressful issue, because this is it, this is your time to release. Full moon in Cancer, just purge it and let it out, let it go. You'll work it out. Okay, so, but what is this, Cancer? Ingenuity, once again, Atlantis. I don't know. It's almost like, in some ways, you become really creative. You become really creative, and it's this ingenuity that actually forces you to shine. You're not even going to be thinking of shining. It's when you're distracted that It's like if you're looking for the spotlight, it won't shine on you, but because you're not, it does. And you're getting really creative with something technological, almost advancing yourself. Or this is new and this is fresh and this is progressive. I don't know what you guys are getting. What is coming into Cancer's life that's new? What are they getting? I don't know. More conflict? That's all it's saying. That's so interesting. 5, 6, 7. This is definitely when you stand out from the crowd. This is how you stand out from the crowd. Don't give up. That's how you stand out from the crowd. Let's go into the extended. I'll see you guys there.